Hello everyone, I want to give an update on last week's video, but first I have to comment on the absolutely shocking scenes we witnessed 2 nights ago in Newtown Mount Kennedy, where unarmed civilians, including women, engaged in a peaceful protest, were subjected to forced assault ramming by a heavily fortified Garda public order unit, armed with shields, batons and pepper spray. This is a watershed moment in our society and a new low for the Gardaí and the establishment who support such action. Yes, I understand there may have been an arson attack on a building, which is not acceptable, but that is no justification for attacking a community of otherwise peaceful protesters. We now have a government that is at war with its own people. The blame for this incident lies squarely with this government and could only have happened because of its reckless immigration policies, which is why last week I called for a delay in the holding of a vote and a public debate on the new proposed EU Asylum and Migration Pact, because it will only seriously exacerbate an already difficult situation. It worked. As a result of the sterling efforts by so many of you wonderful people, letters were sent to politicians all over the country. Now the Taoiseach has accepted that we should have a debate and that the Dáil Justice Committee should be delayed to enable this and to call witnesses. I have no doubt this major change of heart is due to all your efforts, and it shows the power of the people when we work together. I do welcome this development and statement from the Taoiseach, but we cannot afford to be complacent and we must keep up our efforts. It is the duty of a government that purports to call itself democratic to comply with the will of the people. It is not the duty of a government to impose its will on the people, which is what is happening now and which is what happened in Newtown Mount Kennedy. Although this is a positive development, it may still not be enough. The Taoiseach has not specified what kind of debate he will accept, nor has he mentioned any consideration of sovereignty or constitutional issues, or advices from the Attorney General, nor indeed do we know who the witnesses will be who will appear before the Justice Committee. Some members of that committee have already decided that constitutionality is not an issue, or that sovereignty does not arise because of the Lisbon Treaty, which is not the case. That is a complete red herring. In addition, the Minister for Justice stated recently that the people did vote for this pact in the form of the Lisbon Treaty. Not true. And if they did, why is there a Justice Committee? And why is it being put to the Houses of the Oireachtas for a vote? We will not accept any kind of whitewash debate. There must be proper scrutiny. There must be a full consideration, particularly of the AMMR regulation. This is the one which impacts our sovereignty because it transfers power to the EU to determine the numbers of relocated asylum applicants we have to receive. It is essential that the advices of the Office of the Attorney General be made available for the benefit of the people. Not only that, there are many brilliant and accomplished legal experts in the area of EU and constitutional law. And every university and many third-level colleges have a law school. Where are these experts? Why have they not spoken out? If there is no academic debate on this very important issue, how can they justify the application of their discourse? If legal principles and knowledge are not made available to the people and for the people so as to ensure the right application for the benefit of the people, what is the point in teaching it as a subject in the first place? Another problem here is that this government has already agreed to opt into this pact at EU diplomatic level. The Taoiseach makes no secret of the fact. Minister McEntee has even stated that they have been working on this now for 8 years. Consequently, they expected the Dáil vote to be a shoo-in because they believed they had the numbers for a majority vote. They just did not reckon with you guys getting in the way. And to remind you again, Protocol 21 means that Ireland has an opt-in in the areas of freedom, security and justice, which includes asylum and immigration. This means Ireland is not bound by EU law in the areas of immigration and asylum, which includes the EU Asylum and Migration Pact, unless and until Ireland voluntarily decides to opt into these laws. By virtue of Article 29(4)(7) of the Constitution, the Dáil and the Seanad have to vote by a majority to vote it in. The necessitated obligations clause I referred to in my last video, therefore, does not apply at this time to prevent any constitutional challenge. It is imperative that there is no vote on this fundamental issue until there is full disclosure of all relevant departmental and Attorney General's Office advice on this pact. We know already how information from both the Attorney General and a government department were kept from us during the recent referenda debate. This cannot be allowed to happen again. Members of this government have already demonstrated their capacity to conceal vital information from the public, and they will do it again unless compelled to reveal it. Getting an FOI after the event will be too late. So it's up to you. I know many of you have already furnished letters. Just send more. Keep up the pressure. There cannot be any vote on this issue until full and accurate legal advices have been obtained, especially on the constitutionality of the extensive ceding of sovereignty in the specific regulation I have already mentioned. You have to get every politician to demand a delay on the vote until full information and expert opinion is made available, and consideration on whether a constitutional referendum is warranted on this issue. Because if it is, then it is your right as a citizen to have the opportunity to vote for it. Senator Michael McDowell on the 16th of April stated, and I quote, "This proposal has the effect of bringing into effectively Irish constitutional law obligations and surrendering of sovereignty rights of the most serious and far-reaching kind." And he is right. Please continue your peaceful action in bombarding every politician you can again. Call their office by telephone if necessary. Leave the letters personally or send them in the post. Your actions are already making a big difference. Unless this government takes appropriate and democratic action to inform the people, make allowances for public debate, and enable constitutional challenge if warranted, it will be signalling to the world that Ireland is nothing more than a vassal state of a supranational EU with a lame duck parliament and a government which is nothing more than a mere administrator. There is an excellent template letter, courtesy of Lawyers for Justice, in the description box below if you would like to have it. Until next time, thank you for listening.